What's up guys, my name is Javier and welcome back to Tool Craze. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the newest corded Multi-Master from Fein, the FMM350QSL. Fein, being the inventor of the multi-tool, has been making some serious multi-tools. And 2 years ago, back in 2014, they improved on the oscillating multi-tool with their latest Multi-Master. They not only gave it more power or made it quieter, their biggest improvement for the oscillating multi-tool back then was their latest anti-vibration feature that suspended the motor and the tool head from the rest of the tool, so that the user would feel less vibration when operating the tool. If you guys have ever used an oscillating multi-tool, you know exactly what I'm talking about and know how badly the vibration can get if you ever use one of these for long periods at a time. So up until then, the MultiMaster FMM350Q was and still is the most refined multi-tool when it comes to the least amount of felt vibration. So anyways, fast forward to today, and Fein now has a new model, the MultiMaster FMM350QSL. And if you put both of these side by side, they're pretty much identical looking, as they're both the same shape, the same dimensions, the same features and everything. They both even feature the same specifications with the same 350 watt, 3.6 amp motor, the same anti-vibration system, the same super long 16-foot cord, the same oscillations per minute, the same oscillating angle, and I think you guys get the point. The weight is 1/10 of a pound heavier on the new model, but what makes this new model different is the new StarLock mount. And just like the previous Multi-Master, the new StarLock model is also toolless to change blades. But my favorite part about it is that they ditched the pin that was used on the old system. So instead of a pin that has to be completely removed to change blades, they went in favor with a system almost identical to the one that Bosch used on their MX30E multi-tool. In fact, this new StarLock model was co-developed by both Bosch and Fein, so it's no surprise it's very similar to Bosch's mount. And just like the Bosch, this mount also uses two teeth in the center that expand to grip blades, and they contract to remove blades. But there's one huge difference compared to the old MX30E multi-tool, as you don't have to insert the blade and then close the lever to install blades. Well, you could do that, but what's awesome about the new StarLock mount is that blade changes are almost lightning fast. All you have to do to mount blades is to close the latch in the lock position and then press the tool over the blade and it locks on automatically. Pretty sweet, huh? And to remove blades, just open the latch and the blade should pop out. The new StarLock mount goes above and beyond what Bosch had on their MX30E multi-tool with what they call a 3D tool mount. The 3D part of it is a star shape on the mount that forms a recessed pit in the form of a 12-pointed star shape, offering 12 points of contact. So not only does it take the advantages from the Bosch MX30E multi-tool mount and add a recessed star shape, this new mount system is set to offer 100% torque transfer between the tool and the blade. And not only that, they claim that we can expect to work up to 35% faster on the new Multi-Master with StarLock compared to the previous model. So I took them up on their claims and conducted a test where I put the regular FMM350Q Multi-Master with latch and pin versus the new model with the StarLock mount. So here in the first test, I mounted both tools with the same exact wood cutting blade and made 3 identical cuts into 2x4. Now, keep in mind that they're both using the same type of blade. Both blades are new for each multi-tool, and they both have the StarLock mount, and luckily the StarLock blades are backwards compatible with non-StarLock multi-tools. And after 3 cuts, they were both very close in terms of cutting speed. Okay, now let's move on to metal cutting, and they'll both cut down 3 nails using the same StarLock blade for each machine. And once again, both performed about the same. So from the side-by-side comparisons, we can see that both mounts offer roughly the same cutting speed. I didn't really see any advantage with the new StarLock mount when it came to cutting speed. However, there was a difference between the way both mounts handled the same task. I did feel that the new StarLock mount transferred torque a little bit more effectively. While it didn't provide for a faster cut, the cuts on the 2x4 were a little bit smoother, and the machine didn't feel like it was grinding as hard when pushed to the max as compared to the previous model. So for whatever it's worth, the new StarLock mount does provide for a slightly smoother and more refined user experience when you push the tool to the max. A couple of things that I did want to mention was that the new StarLock accessories are backwards compatible with older multi-tools that don't have the StarLock mount. I proved this on the previous side-by-side test, as the original MultiMaster was equipped with the new StarLock blades. And the new StarLock mount comes in 3 mounts. A StarLock mount, which is the most universal StarLock mount, and then there's a StarLock Plus mount that can be mounted on Fein multi-tools or other brands with adapters. And then there's a StarLock Max mount that can only work on the new Fein Supercut with StarLock Max mount. The downside of the new StarLock mount is not in the accessories, but the actual mount itself, and that is that it can't take older accessories. Here's a regular Fein blade, and because it doesn't have the recessed star shape, it just doesn't fit. And I have quite a few older multi-tool accessories that won't work on this new multi-tool simply because they're not compatible with the new StarLock mount. But the good news is that both Bosch and Fein are making StarLock mount accessories. So finding accessories for your new StarLock multi-tools won't be an issue. You'll just be limited to Bosch and Fein blades until other brands incorporate the StarLock mount on their blades. So I happened to get the new MultiMaster 350QSL top kit that comes as a 43-piece kit with a very nice hard plastic case. It comes with a dust extraction accessory and a couple of sanding pads, so you can hook this up to the Fein Turbo Vax for dust-free sanding. And it also comes with a nice assortment of sandpaper, several cutting blades and scrapers, and a couple of neat plastic toolboxes to store your individual blades and accessories. This kit will run you about $349, and if you want something simpler, you can always go for the Start Kit that includes a soft tool bag, blade, and sanding pad with sandpaper for $199. Because the new MultiMaster is basically the same thing as the previous MultiMaster, but with the new StarLock mount, it performs roughly about the same. It's still the most refined multi-tool out there with the least amount of felt vibration. And that's because of the suspended tool head design that isolates vibration just like a car suspension, reduces rough road conditions. The unit itself runs very quietly, just like the old model, except that all of that changes as soon as the blade makes contact with the material it's cutting, and then it becomes just as loud as all other units. Its performance is just like the previous model since it pretty much has the same stats, making for some very smooth, quick cuts. Its performance is high-end, although if you're looking for raw cutting performance, it doesn't come close to the extreme cutting performance of the Rockwell F50. The only advantage in the performance department on the new model versus the previous model is that it's a bit more refined at transferring torque to the material being cut, making for a slightly smoother user experience. I also really like the new mount because it doesn't offer a removable pin. Blade changes are quick and simple, and I don't have to ever worry about losing one of these pins ever again. The only downside to this new StarLock mount is that you can't use your old blades. So if you got a big old box full of old blades and accessories for your multi-tools, you're pretty much out of luck until they come out with a new adapter so you can use your old blades on the new StarLock mount. Either way, it's still one of the better multi-tools out there, which is pretty much what you would expect from Fein since they did invent the multi-tool after all. So if you're in the market for a well-rounded, refined multi-tool with the least amount of felt vibration and the new StarLock mount, then the new Fein MultiMaster FMM350QSL is definitely worth taking a look at. Alright guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on social media over at Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and over at the web at toolcraze.net for more tool reviews, tool news, and tool deals. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.